All right. Hello to my friends and Pega partners from all over the world. Welcome again to this three-for edition of the Pega Partner Hour, a monthly webinar that provides partners with support in the sales, technical, and industry domains. As a reminder, we will be recording this session. If you prefer not to be recorded, please feel free to drop from the call, and you are welcome to watch the recording at any time. Speaking of the recordings, the Pega Partner Hour Historical Archives has a new home. You can now find the past episodes on the partner page. To find these recordings, you can go over to the partner portal at partners.pega.com. On the top, if you hover over resources and support, and then scroll down to events and webinars, as this certainly is an event. And on that next page on the left side, check off Pega Partner Hour. There you will then see a full catalog of all the episodes will populate on the right side. All right, we have a jam-packed hour, so no time for any shenanigans today. As we are on to today's 3-for-1, the 3-for edition. Our agenda includes not one, not two, but as the name implies, 3 special guests. A quick introduction of all 3. Hitting lead off today, one of my favorite returning guests to the hour, Pega's Senior Solutions Consultant of Enablement, the one, the only, and the very tall, Mr. Jason Wilhelm. Backing him up is the Partner Ecosystem Infrastructure Senior Project Manager, my very good friend, Miss Meredith McCall. And hitting cleanup today. And, listen, it should be mentioned, who, by the way, because of a scheduling snafu on our part, is coming in on very short notice and a month earlier than we thought. Senior Director of Digital Client Success and Experience, very talented Miss Stephanie Lewis. Okay, with introductions out of the way, let me turn things over to the legend, Mr. Jason Wilhelm.
Andy, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Hey, for everybody that I got to meet last month at Pega World, that was awesome. And it was so good to get to see every one of you and just kind of, sharing what's going on and what's going to be happening. I want to jump right into what Randy asked me to talk to you about, which, Randy, give me the thumbs up here if you can see my screen, or just let me know. We good?
There it is. Yep.
Awesome. Perfect. We are going to talk about Pega certification currency. So for those of you that are in the partner program, which I know most of you, if not all of you are, you were aware or were notified that on June 30th, just a few weeks ago, we put up a requirement that all practices had to be at 70% requirement up on 24.1. So obviously, we at Pega are super conscientious of what we are trying to do with our clients and what we want them to experience with Pega. And we know that partners just play such an important role in getting them that same experience. So that is why we kind of have these requirements of our partner program, that we want everyone to be up to skill and up to date, so that when we are going out there and you are going out there and talking about the latest and greatest in Pega, we all have the combined ability to be able to deliver on this. So we've been getting questions and comments of where's this coming from and working from, and we can obviously learn from any sense of history of why is it important to stay current in today's day and age. And one doesn't have to look any further than Kodak film. It's funny, I was talking about this to a few other colleagues of mine, and they actively remember when this was coming out, and I'm sure some of you do too. But the story, for those of you that don't know this, comes back to 1975. Kodak film is crushing it in the film market. They're doing an amazing job of owning the market and just really capturing what it is that their clients are looking to do. And they had an engineer that actually came out and said, hey, kind of discovered this little thing called digital imaging and a digital camera. I really think that we need to run with this and go and just see what we can do. And sadly, Kodak said, no, that's not our business plan. That's not the way we want to go with things. We're gonna keep trucking down the film road and kind of take it from there. Well, 1980 comes around and Sony and Canon come out and they decide to pick up on the digital camera technology and just kind of run with it. And pretty much ever since then, Kodak is playing catch up. Now, the reason I bring that up, and I could have brought up a myriad of other stories. We've all heard the story of Netflix and Blockbuster, and how Blockbuster had an opportunity to buy Netflix back in the day, but they said, you know what, we're going to go down this DVD road. We think that's the future, and that's what people want to do. And let's look at where Blockbuster is today, and let's look at where Netflix is today. And you don't really have to be one to see that, staying current with the times has huge advantages, but really for those that are not staying with the times, what are the disadvantages that come with it? So, we recognize that we have clients that are using Pega really across the spectrum, ones that are on, heritage Pega instances that, probably are on 8. There's probably a few lingering out there. That just breaks my heart to hear that they're still working in a 7 dot version. We are actively trying and working on, and hopefully with you, to get them up to the latest and greatest of where Pega is today. But we recognize that there's an important skill set that needs to be had of understanding what was, and that is probably some of the heritage Pega that we're speaking about, but really being cognizant and aware and capable of what is today. In Pega today, when we talk about Pega Platform 24.2, there's just an immense amount of new technology that's coming onto it. From the platform, we're talking about expanded Gen AI with large language model flexibility. Obviously, Pega Gen AI Blueprint is our tool that we are leading the charge with on all fronts, and the continued abilities that we're going to infuse in Blueprint, but then also what we're going to infuse in the transfer of importing blueprints into Pega is just going to get more and more robust. Of Pega Constellation, that is the UI that we are going foot forward with at every instance we can, and that is not changing in the future. Custom Gen AI coaches, improved App Studio collaboration, removal of embedded services. There's just so much that is currently in Pega 24.2. And really, you guys are all aware of this, it's just right around the corner that Pega 25 is going to be coming out and being released. The reason I want to put all this out there is not to stress anybody or scare anybody, but it's kind of one of those instances where if you're not really staying up with the times and you're not really staying up with the moment that we're currently in, every iteration that comes afterwards and just keeps growing is going to get you one step further behind. And then when you do need to play catch up, I'm telling you right now, we're seeing it today. We have a lot of partners that maybe haven't been keeping their skills current, and the amount of work that they're looking at today to get to currency is starting to stack up and starting to get quite a bit. So, we were all kids at one day in time, and we all knew that if we didn't pick up our rooms, that by the end of the week, our parents were going to have to come in and tell us to do this massive job of overhauling everything. The alternative is you just do a little bit as you go through, and day by day, month by month. Same is true with Peg Academy. We want people to stay current and not be playing catch up at the end of the month or at the end of these seasons that we're asking people to stay current on the next release. For those of you that are aware, the next hurdle that we're making everybody kind of work through, December 30th, at the end of this year, December 31st, that's when the Pega 24.2 requirement is going to be coming into play. Then in June of 2026 is when the Pega 25.1 requirement is coming into play. All of this can be found in the partner program on the partner portal that Randy just showed. But if you also want to see something that's great there is also a blog that's currently up that I helped author. So if this is something that is still of curiosity to you or something that you're still looking to get some clarification on, once again, go to resources and support. You will find under news and events this article here. I'll have Randy make sure that when he sends out the follow-up, we put the link in there as well. But there is a blog article about understanding skills currency and the requirements in the partner program, and what that means to you, but also what it should mean for really your desire to want to stay current on the latest and greatest of what Pega can offer. Everything that our clients, and I mean that our clients, your clients and our clients combined, are seeing at Pega World and all the events and all the marketing campaigns that we are putting out there, those are showcasing the latest and greatest. And I'll be honest, what I'm seeing that's going to be coming out in 25 is pretty incredible. And it's something that a lot of people are getting excited about, between runtime AI, between some of the deeper advancements with Pega Blueprint. We're going to have some really cool stuff that's on the horizon that's coming out. So with that, I will kind of give a pause and say, Randy, is there anything that you've heard from the market or anything that you've heard from your partners around skills currency or anything I can answer?
No, Jason, I haven't had questions, but I wanted to talk about a couple things as it relates. I mean, first and foremost, everybody is doing this as a part of employment, right? Everybody's trying to do good by their career. Everybody's trying to do right by their company. Everybody's trying to win and deploy business. Um, you know, you can't run the same apps on your iPhone 1 as you can on your iPhone 16, right? Like if you aren't doing the basics to be current, you're not going to be able to sell the latest and greatest of what Pega has. But guess what? The competition is. And when they go in the door, you think, hey, we'll get to it when you get to it, but you're not going to be able to do it, right? So it's a requirement we have to do it, but you should be wanting to get up there because there's going to come a time and place. And even if you went as selfish as, hey, I'm going to be looking for another job, they're going to say, well, why would we hire you? You're on Pega 8.8 when everybody else is rolling up to 25. So it's really something that you should think about from a number of different levels and try not to put it off too long.
Absolutely. And I'm with you on that 100%. And we also know that our clients, when they are looking for the right partner to partner with, they want to know what skills does this partner have? Do they have any kind of expertise in certain areas? We know we have partners that are just constellation experts. They can showcase and make the tool dance like nobody else. There's other partners that are really diving into process fabric, CDH, customer service. These are the ones that are showcasing not only does my team have the certification levels that we know you're looking to deploy on, but we're going to be able to support you and really help drive innovation in areas that are going to take advantage of the latest and greatest technology that Pega Systems is making. So not only is it a selfish personal interest that I like to encourage people to get on top of it with, but from a business aspect, it's going to position you in the right light and in the right foot to say, I can get you from where you are to where you want to be. And when we dream together, we can actually dream and I can help deliver what is going to be there, but depending on what you're looking for. So yeah, you hit it on the nail.
Well, and Jason, I'm laughing because it's terrible, but I want to share with people. Jason and I had a conversation earlier when we were trying to, think about what we wanted to say. And we Googled things that haven't stood the test, things that didn't age well, right? That's what we Googled, things that
Yes.
didn't age well. And unfortunately, some of the things that didn't age well in the world are things that would probably get us fired if we used them instead of the Kodak film analogy. But then I thought about that, Jason, after we had that conversation,
Yeah.
things that didn't age well that could get you fired is being on an old platform, right? Like why would you want to be in the past like that? So it kind of almost would have been worth putting some of those things we saw. If you want to see them, you can Google that. But
I'll, I'll tell you what, something that also doesn't age well is really what happens when you don't stay current on just about anything is you become irrelevant. And that is, I want to say, one of the worst things in the world because you'll see people that have, certifications or more importantly, their currency, and their currency may be on a version 6 or 7 or something to that level. And my gosh, that's almost like saying that you're current on Windows 95. That's great, but it's irrelevant. And really, if nobody's using the technology and no one is pursuing that technology, the irrelevancy almost becomes worse. And listen, we want to help support you and be a part of this journey with you and get you to where you're going to. That is why if you go to Pega Academy, obviously all of the material out there is free of charge for you. If it's something that you're looking to do instructor-led training on, please reach out to your partner manager. We will find ways and creative solutions to get where it is you need to be because this is not something that we want to leave you high and dry, and we want to help you get to where your teams need to be, but more importantly, where we want your teams to want to be. So that's kind of the biggest part we want to drive home there with that.
perfect. Well, Jason, we've got no questions. So I want to thank you very much for jumping on and just reminding everybody what's so important and why we do what we do.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Randy. I appreciate it.
Anytime, come back, my friend.
Thanks.
All right, let's shift. Let's bring up next. And Meredith, you've got the greatest title. It's almost a tongue twister that I can't say, but the Partner Ecosystems Infrastructure Senior Project Manager. That's fantastic. I wish I had a title like that, but I'm not quite there yet in my career. Listen, Meredith is, again, just incredibly kind to come on. She's going to talk about Athena, which we talked a little bit about at Pega World. But as I have traveling through my partners and they ask some questions, and I'm curious, hey, did you try asking Athena that question. And oftentimes the answer is no. And we all know in sales, it's the rule of 7, right? You have to hear things 7 times. So I thought it was important that we talk about what is Athena and why do you want to know what it is? And maybe more important, what does it do? Meredith?
Awesome. Thanks for inviting me, Randy, and thank you all for welcoming me. So what is Athena? I would like to introduce you to our friend Athena. She is your Pega Gen AI assistant. She's powered by Pega Gen AI Knowledge Buddy, and she will change the way that partners access critical information by simplifying your engagement with the resources that we have on the partner portal. In this first iteration, which went live in early May, this allows users to query content that's housed on Partner Portal. So this is that gated content that's specific to partners, as well as the content on Pega Community and Pega.com. This is going to continue to expand and change, so stay tuned. We'll make new announcements as we go through, but that's where we are in the first iteration. So how do you engage with Athena? So let me share my screen here. Randy, can you confirm that you can see my screen?
We can. You're on the partner portal, loud and clear and bright and ready to go.
Perfect. All right. So hopefully you all visit the partner portal frequently. We've had a banner here since May announcing the introduction of Athena. But down here we have this purple icon to chat with Pega Gen AI Athena. You can see she says, ask me a question. Choose a helpful suggestion to start chatting. So Randy, I think you had a question for me to kick things off.
It's the most asked. What are the requirements to be a global elite partner? I get asked that every week.
Did I just?
Let me put on the old glasses. As I get older, I'm going blind, Meredith. But no, I can see that you're typing it in. There it goes.
That's, I kind of lost my visual on you, but that's okay. I thought maybe something had gone wrong. Okay, so you can see Athena's thinking. She's going out and she's looking at all the content that's available on the partner portal to ask this important question. All right. So here are the requirements for 2026 to become a global elite partner. It tells me about the number of certified resources I have to have, that I have to have an authorization in all 3 geographies. It talks to me about the ACV that I have to show, as well as the TPI and the approved business plan. So this is actually not 2025. I think this is actually 2025 requirements. So just so that you have an awareness of this. No, this is 2026, excuse me. So you can see that I get some suggestions. So how do partners increase their total partner impact, their TPI? What are the steps involved in getting an approved business plan? What are the benefits of becoming a global elite partner? So you'll get some helpful suggestions that come up so you can follow along through this conversation. Again, she's thinking, going out to figure out what all of your benefits are going to be. Okay, so here we have some information about what those global elite partners are allowed to have as part of the benefits package. So the other thing I want to point out is that you have 2 buttons here. One is for view source. If you click on here, you can see, oh, it's pointing me to the program guide. I want to go look at that a little further. So if you click on that, it opens up that resource in another tab so that you can go a little deeper than perhaps Athena took you. So you can see it'll show me all the sources where it's getting its information. The other thing I can do is provide feedback. So if I want to say, Meredith, great job, you and the AI team, this answer was very helpful, you can say yes. Either way, you can provide, whether you found it helpful or not, you can provide additional details of that feedback and submit that to us. We get a report and we review that information. It helps us enrich our content. It helps us make sure that the chatbot is working properly, but mostly it helps us make sure that you have the content available that you need. So let's talk a little bit about let's ask her another question. Here's one I prepped before. Where can I find the growth grid for healthcare industry?
That's another good question. I get asked that a lot.
And so again, she's thinking, and she's taking me to that source. And again, I can open that link. Oh, great, I got a 404. That's no good. So now if I were you, I would submit some feedback so that we would go check out that 404. And in fact, I'm going to check that out myself later on today. So what can't Athena help me with? So I want to be specific that the information that Athena has access to is what is on the partner portal, as well as what's in Pega community and Pega.com. It does not have access to your data. So for now, in this iteration, she does not have access to your data. So what if you asked her, who is my partner manager? She doesn't actually have access to this information. What she can tell you, because we have this in our content, is how to find out who your partner manager is, but she cannot tell you who your partner manager is. So to find your partner manager, you go to Pega Partner Management Team button on the My Pega Partner dashboard. So she's giving you some guidance on where to go to find it, but she doesn't have access to that information. It can't ask, she can't answer any questions that are specific to your data. For example, you can't ask her, how many deal registrations has my company submitted in 2025? She doesn't know.
But you can ask her how to do a deal registration, correct?
You certainly can ask her how to do a deal registration. She'll give you those instructions. She'll also point you to the user guide, and she'll help you find My Pega and give you the information you need. So what's coming in the future? So right now, if I travel away from this, she doesn't really remember the conversation that I've had within the modal window. But as of end of July, she's going to have that memory now, so that you can ask follow-up questions as you would in a real conversation without having to refer back to something. The other thing she's going to do is have persistent of that chat across the pages within the partner portal, so you don't lose that as you move through the partner portal. By end of year, we plan to have available to you a partner distinction agent. So this will be more of a chat with your data situation, specific to distinction data. So all of the data that's involved there with certifications and projects and deal registrations, et cetera, so that you can query the system about, doing a little deeper dive into that data to understand where you sit with regard to a particular distinction. So that's something that we're very excited about. It's going to be coming later, should be by end of this year.
Meredith, you say that one of the things that's coming is the follow-up. I don't see it now. I'm wondering if it's in the future. Will there be a full history? Can you go back and say, hey, I asked this 3 weeks ago, or are we just going to ask the question again?
Yes, very similar to things like ChatGPT or even Copilot for Microsoft. Yes, you will be able to, and I think that's by end of year as well. You'll be able to see your chat history and be able to go back to those individual chats. But that is in their roadmap, in the Gen AI team's roadmap.
Yeah, that's great. So, Meredith, did I hear you correctly? The sources for information right now are the partner page, the community page, and Pega.com. We will hit all three of those now, or are any of those coming and not now?
Those are all now. So, and the other
great.
thing I forgot to point out is that the Athena icon and the Athena functionality is also available on community. So if you're in Pega community, Athena knows that you're a partner and have access to partner portal content. So she knows who you are, regardless of where you are, and she will be able to provide that partner specific information to you, whether you're in community or on the partner portal.
All right. So I might be asking too much, but I'm not going to get my Red Sox score from yesterday, am I?
No, I'm sorry. She doesn't know about baseball. We need to teach her some sports. But no,
Just tell her the
she's,
Red Sox. That's all she needs to know. Just the Red Sox.
unlike lots of AI, she does not have access to the full internet, but she doesn't need it. She's here for a specific purpose, and that's to give partners the information that they need to grow their practice with Pega.
Yeah, I like to tell people to look at me as a partner manager as their phone a friend, from the old TV show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. But I'm now telling people Athena is your phone a friend. You're going to get her faster, you're going to get her quicker. And I hate to say this with probably my boss on the line, but it might be more accurate than I am sometimes.
Well, she has her problems. She has her bad days too, Randy. So it's okay. They're going to still need to phone you sometimes. But hopefully she can take those first line questions and get people to the right place, get them where they need to be.
And like you said, quick questions. And the resource button is fantastic, right? Because you might ask a question, but you might be really looking for something a little bit deeper and you might want to go somewhere deeper. You hit that, like it brought up the partner,
The program guide.
thank you, the program guide. I was losing my tongue there for a minute. And then you might not even know you wanted to know something. You might not even have known that existed. And then you have that, you can download it or you can bookmark it. And it really opens things up like any large language model. It's just specific to what we do.
Exactly. And again, remember this information is gated. So no other chatbot out in the world is going to find this information and be able to answer these questions. It's on the internet, but it's gated to partners. So only partners have access to this information, and this is the only way to query against it.
That's great. And Athena's listening, but so is Lynn. Lynn is showed up in the chat. All right. Meredith, anything else you think we need to add to this right now? We're going to have you on again because as this grows, there's going to be more things to talk about. But this is just a fantastic start, and it's really, if people are missing this, they're making a mistake because it's really going to be a lot more streamlined than anything else to get your information.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the future for this product. I think we're going to see a lot of improvement over the next 6 months even, and I think it'll be very valuable to our partners, even more so as we progress.
Yeah, that's great. Meredith, before we let you go, a quick question came in. Does Athena have access to my Pega type info? For example, on who on the practice needs to get skilled up, etc.
No, she does not have access to your data as of yet. Right now, she has access to that content that's available on the partner portal, on Pega.com, and on community. But she will be eventually getting that kind of information. Eventually, we want her to do things like next best action, like asking you, hey, were you aware that Randy Marcin has a webinar coming up on the next month. Have you registered? Let me help you register. So we think she's going to be a really great assistant, as well as just at the moment now she can ask those more, I'm going to call it generic questions, those questions that apply to all partners. Soon she'll know more about who the specific user is, what access to what kind of data they should have. So everybody has different access roles. So she also needs to know more about, she'll be looking at your access roles to know which information she should be sharing with you and which she should not, unless your partner practice leader gives you that access. So
that's great. Meredith, I can't thank you enough for jumping on. I think people who missed this are going to be running back to watch this on the replay because this is great information.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime. All right, let's shift over. Miss Stephanie Lewis, welcome to the Pega Partner Hour. And Stephanie, again, I said it in the intro, you're a champ for jumping on last minute. I really appreciate it. And listen, when we were at Pega World, I don't know if you remember, I know that I walked around Pega World, and Pega World in part, like listen, we have our customers there and that was important and we have other things. But one of the things I wanted to do is I walked around the Innovation Hub. I wanted to see where the lines were. I wanted to see like, hey, what are people interested in? And I want to get that on the Pega Partner Hour. And expert circles, every time I walked over, had a crowd. And I said, you know what? I'm not sure this is getting the amplification within my particular group that I needed to have. So no better way to get you to come and visit us. So please tell us a little bit about expert circles and why it's going to be important for everybody.
Well, first of all, Randy, I'm impressed that you made it back there because we were like at the back of the innovation hub.
We did hide you.
Everybody had to get their stuff to get back there. So yeah, it was very impressive that we got that much traction. And yeah, so there was a launch. It was kind of like a soft launch at Pega World around what we're doing around the new community. Community's been around for a long time, right? This is the platform that we've used to get information out there. Academy is part of the community umbrella, which is all great. And as we were just talking, as Jason was talking about, definitely use it. It has great content to make sure you stay current. But the big shift that we're making, and I'm going to kind of give this spiel of like what the new community is, and then kind of talk about how it relates to your practices in particular. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, and it's not going to let me, which is fine, because then I'll just talk about it because I'm great at that. So, okay. So one of the things we're going to be doubling down on is recognizing individual engagement. So right now, I'm sure you're all familiar with the definition of active and inactive, right? Which basically means someone logs in and they're active. Great, wonderful. We want people to have accounts and be active, but we're going to be diving down to that next level of detail of leaders in the community. Individuals that are starting conversations, individuals that are attending webinars, and individuals that are sharing blogs, sharing their best practices. I think that's going to be really important for the individuals themselves. So not necessarily kind of leveling up to practice definitions, but helping your individuals stay engaged and stay current in a way that's going to be more important than ever. So yes, currency for the Academy content, but Blueprint is changing every 2 weeks. We're not releasing Academy missions every 2 weeks. The way to stay
Right.
is on these expert circles that you were talking about, Randy, right? So we've got 3 expert circles that are out there. So we've got Blueprint for All, which has 1,000 expert circle members already and is being monitored by product. So talking about being successful and staying current, you absolutely need to join this expert circle and follow the conversations, the webinars that are happening at least once per month, that are the videos that are being released once per month, once per week. That is the way to make sure that you are staying current on what is happening with Blueprint. And these expert circles, as I said, and I can't say it enough, is the channel to connect with the Pega experts that are monitoring these and are held accountable for monitoring these. So we've got Blueprint, and then we also have user experience and design, which is not just about Constellation, because we recognize that there are still clients that are on UIKit and Cosmos. So we need to, this is community first. This is, yes, it's about the Pega voice, but it's also about community first. How are we addressing the needs of the community as they face implementations? Because enablement doesn't, so yes, community is about engagement, but enablement also just doesn't stop on Academy, right? When you are doing your implementation, you're hitting a challenge, you want to talk to someone about that, this is the place to go. And now we have a really great place for you to do that. Same thing with Pega as a service. So this is Pega Cloud, but Pega as a service is bigger than just cloud. All of the things from PDC to My Pega Cloud, all of the resources that are at your fingertips that you may not know about. Now we've got experts monitoring this to be able to help you out because we're committed to your success. So, as I kind of kicked this off, it is about the individual because that's the best in class for community, right? I want the individual to be successful, but obviously that levels up to your success as a partner. And then the other thing I wanted to kind of point out that I was taking notes as Jason was talking about showing your expertise. So how do you show your expertise? Another way to do that is through these expert circles, which are going to expand, and through the general conversations on community, which are tagged based on all of the different types of like UX, blueprint, cloud, integration, all of those things are going to be tagged. So then you can look at the information about the individuals in your practice and have that information to level up to show your special sauce, your area of expertise across your practice. And then also when you're kind of staffing projects, you'll have all that information around engagement to amplify your message that you want to convey around the individuals that will help the clients be successful. So check it out today. Sorry that my screen share wasn't working. I didn't want to restart my computer. But again, so it's now called Groundbreakers. We're going to launch those recognition tiers based on those engagements. And then there's the expert circles that again have, and I do think it's 1,100 now on the user experience and 987 on the Blueprint for All and 738 on the Pega as a service. So that's the place to go to continue the engagement, show your leadership, and get direct access to those product leaders. Right now, they're all being led by Pega people because we just launched them. But eventually, these can be led by anyone. So this is going to be another way to kind of distinguish your practice of showing leadership in the community to be the voice of best practices. And this is the thing that you know and do best.
Stephanie, that actually has come up with a couple of partners of mine that have talked about it as we were kind of batting back and forth on what expert circles is and where to find it on community. And they asked me, and I didn't know the answer yet, how will they be able to become involved and be a leader involved? Am I putting the cart before the horse here yet? Or are they able to sign up and will they be rated by answers, or how will they move up in sort of recognition on those pages?
Yeah, you're not putting the cart before the horse. So right now you can sign up today. So if you go to community.pega.com, you'll see a direct link to the expert circles and you can just join today. Then start contributing. So right now we have not yet launched, to your point, you can't yet see the top. You can see the expert circle leaders, which are the chosen, curated people that are paying attention to this, but we're going to do the leaderboard of like, you're the top contributor. We're already collecting that data. We just don't have the interface to expose that. We have a way within those expert circles and within community to start to contribute to conversations and write a blog, submit it. So all of those pieces are there. It's a little bit disjointed right now, if I'm being honest, because we just launched this at Pega World. So there's a little bit of back and forth, but that shouldn't prevent people from joining expert circles today and starting those conversations. What's coming is a general conversation experience. So obviously expert circles with just the 3, they don't cover the gamut of everything that you can do in Pega. Right now, the only way to converse with people is on support. And that's unfortunate because that's not what support is for, right? Support should. Right. What's coming on Support Center is that it's going to introduce kind of like Athena. It's going to have a support agent that only utilizes official Pega information to answer your questions. So you don't have to raise a ticket. You don't have to wait for it to go through support. You will be able to converse with that support agent, which is the official answer, which does 2 things. One, gets you an official answer faster if you actually truly do have something that should be a ticket. And 2, separates out the peer-to-peer. I think a lot of what's happening right now from a culture perspective is there's a little bit of a fear of using the conversations on Support Center because it might come across as like an official answer, like this is support. No, we're moving that over to community to have a general forum, peer-to-peer conversation, which you can use again to do the best practices and so forth. But so all these things are a little bit disjointed right now, if I'm honest. Expert circles are the thing that are most baked and are ready. That's the other future thing that's happening. And again, with the broader recognition of those tiers, which is based on ongoing engagement. So it's not just about like, oh, you came last year, you're a pioneer. It's going to be ongoing.
Well, and Stephanie, correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Anytime I've been involved in something where I have a sphere of influence or even an expertise, teaching somebody something has only ever made me better at what I'm doing, right? So we're not even going to see people who are in the expert circles who are, wasting time and just helping people, because someone's going to ask a question that you don't know, and they're going to make you have to press yourself to find that answer yourself, and you're going to get better. And the more you teach and the more you learn and the more you talk and the more you get questions, the better yourself you will get at doing this, because nobody is 100% perfect on this.
You're spot on. And in addition to that, and this is such a cliche, but there's never a dumb question, because if you have the question, someone else has the question. So that's so true, right? Because there's many different ways to do things in Pega, and everything's a little bit unique. So everyone has the same question. And to your point, also, I believe in the power of community, of helping each other. People want to help each other, right? So you can make yourself better. You've got those questions. And we see this, I'm sure you all see this if you've got internal things like WebEx and Teams and things like that. When you create a space around a topic, it goes viral because people are excited to talk about it, have questions, and have more of an informal way to have these discussions, and learn, right? And I think the same thing, to continue to be relevant, to know the latest and greatest. This is the place where you can do that. And it's all a little unique. So this is the place to have those conversations.
Stephanie, some questions that jump in my head. Will people be anonymous, or will people use their real name, or will they have a username? How do people identify themselves on the circles?
So everything is publicly available. That's one thing we want to be sure, is that for information, we don't want to gate it, because the more people know, the better. But to interact, to participate in the conversations, to attend these webinars that are happening every month or every 2 weeks, you do need to register. And it's up to you how you want to register. So the recommendation is to use your professional email, so that any certifications, they're associated with it. But there's also, you can use your personal email if you want to. We've got an option for, you can associate a secondary email address. And then you can choose what your username would be. I think it's important that you are recognized. We're going to start to make sure that that's available, because again, I think that's that recognition piece. That's a part of community, is that you're recognized. So then, but again, you can choose the short name that you want. You can choose, you'll upload an avatar, your real picture, or a fun avatar, whatever you want to do. Randy, I'll see what yours is. So you could do something like that. But we want to make sure that the people that are interacting have their faces and their personality as a part of it. I think that's really important part of community.
Yeah, I think nobody wants to interact with a silhouetted gray thing, right? Like, that doesn't warm anybody up. Nobody sort of knows that. Speaking of, how are these moderated? If I put something in, is it going to pop up live, or is it going to be moderated for content? How does that work? Or is there a plan for that?
There's some automated AI that happens for the moderation, so it basically happens real time, but we strip out things for PII, language, that type of stuff. So those are the things that we that kind of happen behind the scenes, but it's real time.
All right, that's fantastic. And so we have three expert circles now. A year from now, how many will we have?
It's not going to be honest, it's not going to be 10, because I don't want people to be confused around where to go to have these conversations. Because if you've got 10 places and you need to pick one, that's not a great experience. We're focused on the specific topics that are heavy. User experience is one, right? Like, we've seen it, we've heard it from partners, we've heard it from clients. Like, Constellation and UX require some expertise. So we picked that one. Same thing, Pega as a service is pretty unique. And then Blueprint for all, get in there. That's a big one. But then from there, to be honest, I don't quite know what's, I'm curious to hear from people on this call, because when we did the Expert Circle webinar kickoff after Pega World, I asked the same thing of the 800 people that attended that webinar. What do you want to see next? AI came up a lot, but to be honest, AI is kind of everything that we do now on the platform. So I'm curious, like, if you want to put that in the Q&A, so we can take that back, because I want to hear from the community of what expert circles, based on what we were talking about, is. So we've got that, we're never going to change, like, and a lot of things are connected. So there's the platform, there's going to be the general community, we're bringing in the forums. Personally, I think some of the next ones are going to be more around the verticals, customer service, CDH. I've heard smart dispute. So I've heard a lot of those, which make a lot of sense, because that's a very specific, there will be overlaps, because obviously you're using Constellation in customer service and things like that, but it's within the lens of customer service. So in my mind, the next ones would be more around those offerings.
Well, Stephanie, I got to tell you, this is great stuff. And I, when you go to Pega World, you expect to see Don Sherman everywhere. You expect to see the Trufflers everywhere. You expect to see Karim everywhere. But for my money, I don't know how many stages I saw you on, but there was a number of stages I saw. Every time I turned around, you were up on the stage, and you are the go-to expert right now. You know, you are SME on a number of different things, man. I can't tell you how lucky I feel that we are, that you are driving this right now.
Yeah. Thank you, Randy. I love it. I mean, put me on any stage, I'll be happy. But to that point, I'm also excited about this because I do have experience in product, have experience in community, have experience in building applications. So it's really fun to be able to bring that all together for best practices to drive the community to help everyone on this call be successful.
Well, I get, and maybe it's because I put it up there, but I get a lot of emails from folks and I answer them all, right? If you send me a message, I'm going to answer you. And then I will sometimes introduce and put people together when they need to. But much like Athena, does Expert Circles have a feedback page if people have questions that aren't really to the point of blueprint per se, but something that they think either we could make better or we did wrong or it didn't work?
Yep, that's front and center. We want that feedback across the board. What works for you, what doesn't, where's the gap? So absolutely. And we monitor that daily. And again, to your point, Randy, definitely email me directly on thoughts, what we could do more within that expert circle is for you. So please definitely reach out.
All right, Stephanie, listen, we've got a few minutes left. I don't see any questions that come in, but we'll give it just a minute to see if anybody has any questions. As I wrote, once in a while, excuse me, as I said, once in a while, people come in with questions after the fact, and we always try to get you the right answer. Stephanie, what's the next big thing for it? Is there something that you're not allowed to tell anybody that I'm asking you to tell us now? Like, what's the big thing that is coming out on this? Because I know there's always something.
There's always something. I'll say the most fun thing. Everybody loves swag, right? So these top tier individuals. So look, taking a step back, Pega was founded in the 80s, right? So we've got some time. So one of the top level swag items that we're looking for are members only jackets. So
Nice.
so that's the like we're looking at some cool stuff to do there. But yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about with swag. I don't have any of that lying around.
Yeah, and again, pay attention to the events page. We're going to have a ton of developer meetups, and I'm really excited about everything that we have lined up for the second half of the year. But yeah, the members only jacket is pretty exciting because that's
Yeah, we're gonna have to get Jason Wilhelm back to show him things that did age well, the members only.
Yes.
Well, listen, Stephanie, anything that comes out of your office, you have an open door to come out and talk to the partners on the Pega Partner Hour. I really appreciate you being here. I can't thank you enough. And again, I've said it twice, but short notice, and you jumped on and saved us because it would have been a short episode without you.
Anytime. All right, thanks,
All right.
Randy. It's been a pleasure too. Yeah, you're great.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. All right. So that brings us to the close of another Pega Partner Hour with the real star of the show is John Lynch. As always, my sincere thanks to everybody who shows up month to month. And today, of course, Jason, Meredith, and Stephanie. Thank you to all of you. Great job. Always a great job. We'll see you next on August 8th when we'll be doing a dive in with our state and local team. So if you're a state and local team partner, please make sure you don't miss it. And if you aren't a state and local team, then you probably definitely want to join us to find out what you're missing, because that domain is just exploding. So as always, if you see me out in the world, please stop me and say hello. Until then, and be well. Thanks for joining us.